Good morning, Metaverse. I'm Thor with the OCG and Mafia Guild, and today we're going to dive into a little bit more into what the Mafia is, the Mafia Esports Organization. And we'll talk to Timbo Slice, who is the founder of the Mafia, and we'll talk a little bit more about how the Mafia relates to the other organizations. For example, the Red Hand. The Red Hand is a decentralized autonomous organization, a DAC, that I help run and have helped create for Star Atlas. So in Star Atlas, what group am I with? I'm with the Red Hand. Now, the Red Hand is a branch of the larger umbrella, which is the Mafia Esports Organization. And so after releasing that video, which will be linked in the description below, I had a lot of questions on what the Mafia is. And so this one is mostly about how that relates and what the core concept of that is. But before we get into that, I want to do a couple community notifications of things upcoming, specifically the 4 to 6 event, which will be coming up July 21st. Mark your calendars. 4 to 6 is very much like the Copa in that it is a community event. It's for the Star Atlas community to come together and be involved as they drop some information in regards to big release dates, big developments in the Star Atlas roadmap, whether it be for Scream or the showroom. There's also a graphic novel that's going to be coming out, so we might be getting some big information in regards to that, and hopefully some other aspects as to the Star Atlas community and how we can work together and keep developing the community content and stay involved as we're going through a bear market and a lot of other projects struggle. I've noticed that Star Atlas and its community has really done well with the core people that are involved, staying together and maintaining high activity and meeting a lot of really cool people that are doing other projects related around Star Atlas. So I'm excited for that part of the event. And then just a bit of outlook for some more videos in the future. We'll be finishing up the last few ships that I haven't fully reviewed yet. And I got a couple of suggestions in regards to doing a face-off, like a one ship versus another, now that we're getting information on how components scale out, and we can theory craft a little bit deeper about comparing one ship versus the other. And we'll be taking a look at Polis and Atlas and the crypto markets just a little bit more on a regular basis. So keep that in mind for some videos in the future. Let me know if that's information that you find helpful. That'll help me guide me to make content that's actually useful to you guys, guys and girls. Though 100% of my viewership right now is dudes. So let's just keep that rolling. And so let's get into the interview with Timbo, and we'll talk later. The purpose of this recording and the purpose of what we're talking about is first and foremost so that everybody in the Mafia and interested in being in the Mafia understands a little bit more about what your vision for that is and what you hope for it to develop into, and then we'll send this out to all the bosses, and then we can do another one, which will be the boss talk group discussion about this, and get people's 2 cents and allow it to kind of organically form into a solid idea amongst all of us, so that we're on the same page. And when someone asks the important question, what is the Mafia, we have a unified idea of what that's going to be. I did notice, especially with people that aren't one of the game bosses, and we've had more conversations amongst ourselves, the traditional concept of a guild or like a scholarship program is what they kind of default to, and that's not exactly what you've put together. It's quite a bit more than that. So I want to make sure that people understand it. So the first thing, let's just go over, what is your elevator description of the Mafia Esports Organization? And then we'll unpack that and go from there.
Yeah, so the Mafia is at its core an esports organization that unites gamers, asset holders, and innovators to empower them in all of Web3. So we have our innovators. It's kind of like a triangle here. We have innovators are building systems to bring in the best gamers, and then we have the best gamers are there to bring in the best asset holders, and then the best asset holders are there to bring in more innovators. So we have the cyclical triangle right there where they're all symbiotic. They all work together to bring in the best of each other.
Right. And so you have, each one of those, and that always made a lot of sense to me. And if you're going to put together a full organization, that's kind of where it becomes different than just a gaming guild. Where gaming guilds are focused on playing the game and working to play that game, and that's a facet of it. That's getting the esports high quality gamers in there, and any gaming group is going to need to have a good solid base of gamers, whether they're top tier quality or I guess we call it normal gamers, that want to be a part of that. You still have that, but then how do you attract those high tier gamers to your platform? And what you've been doing and working on is developing that tournament system, a template of hosting tournaments that are run smoothly, which is something that is rare in the Web3 gaming world, is a well-run tournament system with defined ways of leveling up and getting to higher tiers, and then an organized payout structure or a buy-in model. Those things are still to be developed, and so that's what you guys are developing. You can talk a little bit about what your focus is for how you're developing specifically like the tournament type tools.
Yeah, we see the tournaments right now. That is one of our primary goals, because we see how paramount it is to these games to add value into these games and give the player base something to compete for. And I think that's a key part of it, is the compete part. Is a lot of these games don't have that skill aspect yet, right? They haven't. It's been a lot about who can breed the most, who has the most time and all this stuff, but the skill is massive. And I think that's what makes games fun. It's what turns them into a sport, right?
Mm-hmm.
It turns them into something that is sustainable and is real. Like we need that. The competitive aspect. So the tournament structure is really beautiful, because we're building we're building these systems so that we can expand them throughout any game. That's our main goal. Is we have a boss come in and they want to run Illuvium, and we're able to push out quickly a tournament structure for Illuvium, and boom, we've instantly added more value. We've instantly input more value into the community and given another outlet for competition.
Okay, that's fantastic. The content creation from groups outside of specific game developers, I think, is going to be one of the things that really propel these different projects, especially through the slower parts of the market, through the bear market, until things start turning around. That community-driven activity is really big in my book. So I hope you found this helpful. Don't worry about liking or subscribing. Screw that algorithm. But if you know somebody that would find this useful, then please share it with them. And if you want to join the Mafia or the Red Hands, drop me a line down in my Discord, and I'll have links to that in the description below. But if you can do that, then today was a good day. Good morning, Metaverse.